grab onto your volume controls and your radios and your computers and phones. We told you that Hubert Davis was going to come in here each week, and it's happening.
Yes.
It's happening. Look, that's him right there. It is. Hubert Davis is here. Believe it. It's all thanks.
You made me come.
That's true. We threatened legal action from our good friends at CR Legal.
Yeah.
See our commitment, see our results, see our legal team. Proud partner of Carolina Athletics. They enabled us to catch up with Hubert Davis. He's here either voluntarily or against his will.
Voluntarily. This is voluntary.
That's the right answer. Coach, thanks so much for being with us. Just a couple things. You've talked a lot about the defense that changed the game against Florida State.
Yeah.
In order to be able to play that defense, you have to have it installed and have a team that's comfortable doing it. What is it about this group that enabled you to be at that point this relatively early in the season?
Well, it is something that we've worked on, and that if we're in a situation where we need to change the tempo, we need to get steals and deflections, that we were in position to be able to do it. And I just, we were down by 14 and something needed to change. We needed to try something. And, we picked up full court even after missed baskets or missed free throws, and it just picked up our energy. It got us in transition. We started attacking the basket. We got to the free throw line, and we started to make some shots. The crowd got into it, and we were able to be down 14 and then take a 14-point lead.
Coach, at least to me, it felt like a big part of that was Seth Trimble's contributions off the bench as part of that pressure and the defensive play that you guys had. I understand how college basketball is, and Carolina has a bunch of transfers that are huge in Carolina's success right now. Is there something to be said, though, for a guy like Seth or Jalen Washington, who are now in their second year in the program and clearly have made some steps forward in their development?
They've made huge steps forward in terms of their development, and that's called improvement and called growth. I know that sometimes that gets lost in collegiate sports, but having Seth out there, we actually had a really small lineup. We had RJ, Elliott, and Seth out there, but we had 3 point guards that can create, that can pick up full court, and Seth's athleticism was a game changer for us. He's just not only does he is he athletic, he's also strong, and he can guard a number of different positions. So even against Florida State, who had I felt like they had 5 7-footers out there. It really didn't matter with Seth because he can play all 5 of them. And, his ability to get steals and to run in transition really helped us get back into the game, and he was a huge part in our victory against Florida State.
You talked on your radio show last night about your experience in New York when you were a freshman in November of 1988, and Coach Smith called you up to the front of the bus. That was obviously a very impactful thing for you. Even a couple years later, you still remember it.
Yeah.
How do you try to create some of those similar moments, not necessarily in New York, but just you and your players? How do you try to create some of those same things away from the court that are going to be impactful to them?
Well, it's a little bit more difficult on this trip because it's so quick. We're, flying up there, playing, and then coming right back. When I was up there my freshman year for the preseason NIT, we were up there for 3 or 4 days. And even last year when we went up to play Ohio State, we were there for, 3 days, and we were able to take the guys to the Broadway show Lion King, which is R.J. Davis' favorite. Anything Lion King. If you want to put a smile on his face, give him anything that is connected to Lion King. He is a kid, and he is a kid at heart. And so from those off-the-court experiences, because this trip is so quick, those things could be limited. But, to play at Madison Square Garden and the history and to be able to share with them my time there as a Knick and all the not only great basketball games, but just events that have been held at Madison Square Garden, to be a part of that and to play against UConn in that arena, that's something that our guys will remember for the rest of their life.
Coach, RJ has 107 points in the last 4 games and 27 or more in 3 straight. We talked a little bit after the game on Saturday about this, but it feels like he is being a little both aggressive but efficiently aggressive offensively right now.
He's in a nice rhythm.
Yeah.
He really is, and it's coming from a number of different directions. He's very few guys from an offensive standpoint have the ability to score with the ball and off the ball. And RJ does that at an elite level. So he can create shots for himself with the ball in his hands, but he's also really gifted at coming off and using screens. He's getting to the free throw line more. Defensively, he's been so much better this year in terms of just guarding down low on the post, keeping guys out of the lane, getting steals and deflections, and then just his leadership. It's we talked about growth, and that's what you get when you have a 4-year player is a maturity and a growth and a confidence to be able to lead a team. And what RJ is doing in the locker room with this team in terms of his leadership is just absolutely outstanding.
Speaking of those 4-year players, you've got Marcus Paige on the staff this year.
No,
he's.
I wish he was playing.
Yeah, that would be nice.
That would be nice.
He's in that role that Jackie Manuel had, but he is physically sitting somewhere different. He is on the bench where when players come out of the game, he can talk to them or whatever. Who knows what he's doing over there? Right. That's what I'm asking. What do you want him to do when he's watching the game and your current team is sitting next to him? What kind of things do you want him sharing with them?
Well, he's been great. He's been terrific with our guys, just the way that he communicates with them and the respect and the response from the players has just been off the charts, having Marcus, a part of this staff. It's funny how Marcus ended up on the bench. He was watching a game, and they had a number of assistants on the bench, and he came into my office, and he looked a little scared when he came in the office. He was like, I just wanted to ask a question. I just see so many things, and I just want to be a sounding board for the players. Do you think I could sit on the bench? And I had never thought about it. There's so many rule changes. Like, I didn't even know we could put him on the bench. And so I was like, sure. And I was like, look, every time a sub comes out, they always sit next to Coach Lebo. And I said, won't you sit on the other side? And so when people come out, they've got you on one side and Coach Lebo on the other. And I couldn't think of two better guys to have when guys come off the floor. And so, just his wisdom and the way that he listens and the way that he delivers to the players on the bench during the game, it's just been really huge for us.
All right, we could sit here and talk forever with Coach Davis, but he does have other things to do, so we're going to finish it. But this will be we're hoping to make it as weekly as possible. Of course, there's going to be some adjustments as we move through the year, but we hope to have this as much as we can with Coach Davis as we move through the year. A reminder, Tar Heels back in action on Tuesday, 9 o'clock against Connecticut. Big game coming up in Madison Square Garden. Coach, thanks so much for joining us, and we look forward to chatting with you all season long.
All right, it's good seeing you.
All right, it's another Catching Up with Coach Davis, brought to you by our friends at CR Legal Team.